Hello, everybody. Welcome into our special edition, this Dog Nation event presented by Kroger. It's our world's largest virtual cocktail party. Obviously, every year, Georgia, Florida is one of the most important events, one of the most fun events that takes place in the college football world. And this year is certainly an example of that. And we wanted to take a moment to celebrate the great event that's going to take place. For those of you that would love to have been here in a normal year, you can't be here. For those of you that have always dreamed about coming, we wanted to provide a little taste of that for you here today. So we've teamed up with folks all across the Dog Nation landscape, some who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, some who are actually in our broadcast here this evening. And we're going to talk some Georgia, Florida, get ready for the Dogs on Saturday, and also just have a cocktail, have a beverage, and have a lot of fun here on a very special event. Also, one of the things that we're doing here tonight, and for the folks who are inside our broadcast and a part of this here this evening, they're going to get one of these Kroger Dog Nation branded masks. Let me put mine on here a little bit. You can still see me. This is a celebration of the last 3 years of victories for Georgia in this series. Looks great. It's just like a Dog Nation story that you would read, headline and photo and everything else. We put those on a Kroger branded mask. So that's one of the fun things we're going to be giving away to the folks in the broadcast. And also, for those of you who are in the show watching on Facebook and YouTube, you weren't lucky enough to be a part of the regular broadcast that we're doing, but you said, hey, I'd love to get myself one of those masks. We're going to be giving one of these away, a handful of these. We're going to give up to 5 of these away, a part of the regular broadcast that we're doing here today. The email address I want you to remember is dognationhelp@gmail.com. Dognationhelp@gmail.com. If you will send an email with your name, your address, your phone number, your contact information, as many of you are watching here today that would love to have one of these Kroger Dog Nation branded masks, do that. We're going to give away 5 of those to the folks who are checking us out and watching us here today. So all of this is courtesy of our friends at Kroger. We've got a lot of fun coming up. Your comments, Georgia, Florida talk, a look at how the Dogs get it done, and really a celebration of one of the things that has made this just one of the most special college football games across the national landscape each and every year. So glad to have you with us for that. Can't wait to show you all the folks who are checking in via our broadcast here tonight. But first, let me take a quick pause to say thank you to our friends at Kroger for making all this possible and sharing this special message to you from them right now.
It's a football season unlike any ever before, a year in which we find out that home gating can be just as fun as tailgating. And don't forget, Kroger's got your guide to all the home gating essentials you'll need with at-home tailgating ideas to help make game day special for the whole family. Kroger will help you take your home gating to the next level with weekly deals and savings. Plus, you'll find all the fresh foods, drinks, and recipe ideas you'll need to cheer the Dogs on to victory. So visit Kroger.com today to start planning your next home gate meal. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
All right, so huge thanks to Kroger for making all this possible. Your comments on both Facebook and YouTube here through the evening. Jacob O'Neill says he got himself one of those Kroger masks. We're looking forward to giving those away. So if you did not get a chance to, as I said before, go to the email address, dognationhelp@gmail.com. Send us an email, your name, your contact info, all of that. And we'll see if we can give away some of these Dog Nation masks during the show here this evening. DeMayor checking in with the Go Dogs. Brett Hunter checking in with the Go Dogs. Jerry Popham checking in to say hello and looking forward to having some fun here on Saturday. Lisa Duke checking in right now. A lot of Georgia fans checking over here on Facebook. Shelton Tucker stopping by to say hello. We certainly appreciate you being here. Let's also, for the first time this evening, kind of show you our Classic City Lager cocktail cam. After all, you can't have a world's largest virtual cocktail party if you don't have the Classic City Lager cocktail cam. We'll give you a chance to check that out. All the Dog fans here this evening who are showing up, who are saying hello, who got their beverage in hand, their Georgia gear on, everybody having a good time, getting ready to have some fun here. Marshall Fleming showing up to say hello. Appreciate that. Ricky Williams saying go Dogs. Desmond Lee wondering about that rain tomorrow. Yeah, Desmond, I've certainly heard about that in the forecast for tomorrow. Some, varying, reports about how much it is going to rain, what time it's going to come down. Remember, North Florida, even in November, you do have those pop-up thunder showers that kind of show up. So really, a lot of weekends you'd have the threat of rain. We'll have to tune in tomorrow to see how much it actually does rain. Somebody says Gator Hater for life. Thomas Clark's got his cocktail going. So everybody's kind of in the fun spirit. Everybody's having a good time doing exactly what we'd hope to do here in our Dog Nation Kroger event, the world's largest virtual cocktail party. Not the outdoor cocktail party for a lot of folks this year because they're watching it from inside the comfort of their home, not the tailgate that you're used to, but everybody having a good time. Now, in addition tonight to our Facebook and our YouTube and the comments we're going to keep taking over there, also to kind of really get the cocktail party vibe going here, to really give folks a chance to have a really good time. We're also going to introduce some of the folks that you just saw a moment ago in our Classic City Lager cocktail cam. We're to give them a chance to speak here this evening. Now, the magic of video that kind of has me, somebody said earlier, it looks like I'm already at the beach. I'm not quite at the beach yet, but I am on my way to being there. So I can't see all of our folks in the Classic City Lager cocktail cam tonight. But Michael, who's producing back in friendly confines of our Dog Nation headquarters back in Atlanta, go ahead and open it up for anybody from our Classic City Lager cocktail cam zone out there who wants to show up and talk some dogs. And we'll let some folks do that. We'll take some comments on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll just have a good time. So somebody from inside the broadcast here, go ahead and fire away your question, your comment as we get ready to rock and roll tonight. Who wants to go first? Yeah, so if you want to unmute yourself, you can get going while we're doing that. We'll say hello to some folks over here on YouTube there as well. Noah Shelton 500 says, Florida's getting blown out, period. That's exactly the vibe that you want to have on a night like this. Looking forward to the dogs tomorrow. And really, for me personally, continuing to feel pretty confident when you look back at the last 3 years for Georgia in this series, 2017, the blowout win, 2018, the 19-point win, the big win there for Georgia last year as well. This has been a scenario in which Georgia coach Kirby Smart has certainly had his way when it comes to Dan Mullen, and that's something that I expect to continue again on Saturday as well. So anybody from our broadcast want to unmute yourself and say hello and give us your feelings on the game on Saturday? If you do, go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead there.
Hey, BA, I got a question for you. What are you thinking about Trey McKitty? Are we going to see much of him tomorrow?
First of all, Danny, tell people who you are and tell people a little bit about yourself as you kind of weigh in on this topic here, and then I will be happy to talk about Trey McKitty. And I love the Bulldog there. That's a great-looking product there as we head towards Saturday. But tell folks a little bit about yourself.
Sure. That Bulldog's a lot better looking than I am, so that's why I got that up there. And I'm a UGA grad, 87. Got to see Herschel most of my time there, so I've been very, very lucky. And anyway, been following the dogs a long time, been down to Jacksonville, and even I got so lucky that during the time frame that the dogs were not doing well, I actually went only on the games that we won. So
is that right?
I got really, really lucky. But anyway, I'm just thinking Trey McKitty is going to be big for us. But what do you think, BA?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. What's funny is Brett Oglesby over here on Facebook asked a similar question about tight ends as well. And I think McKitty does need to be big for Georgia on Saturday. I think that's one of the crucial matchups that's just really pivotal for Georgia here in this game is to get McKitty more involved. He obviously had a lot of experience going back to his time at Florida State. He came to Georgia and he said this. He wanted to play in big games. Mentioned the Alabama game and now obviously this game on Saturday. I think the problem here, obviously, and I think we're all pretty well aware of this, is the Georgia passing game in general has just been meager. Unfortunately, there's not been a lot of balls to go around for really anybody as of late. So that's clearly something to pay close attention to. Can Georgia distribute the ball well enough to get multiple people involved? McKitty's a weapon, probably not the primary weapon on a lot of these routes. So to get the tight ends as involved as you want, and we saw Darnell Washington have the big pass play last week, and obviously a lot of Georgia fans had been hoping to see a lot more of that. And I know that it excited a lot of people. But in order to get those tight ends fully involved, it's going to have to be one of those situations where the Georgia passing game in general is as fully potent as it possibly has a chance to be. But that's certainly a great question. Steve Highland also checking in on Facebook to say JT is going to come in at the beginning of the second quarter. So I know Mike Griffith has talked about the possibility that Daniels comes in and plays on Saturday. There's clearly a lot of excitement related to that. It's still something that I'm going to sort of have to see it to believe it myself, to be completely honest with you on that. but clearly, there's a lot of questions that linger about that quarterback spot for right now. We'll take some more comments from our video audience here in a moment. Let me also say hello over here on the YouTube side of things as well. Pittsburgh Steelers fans are checking in to talk about those Georgia wide receivers. And, to somebody who's watching us, live on video or actually a part of our broadcast here tonight on our Classic City Lager Cocktail Cam, what do you guys think about the current state of the Georgia receivers, and how much do you expect that group to step up and play big on Saturday? Does anybody want to unmute themselves and give us a little bit of an opinion on that?
I don't know. I just would like to see the Dogs, create mismatches with our talent. We have the ability to create mismatches, simplify it for our quarterback, whoever it is, and identify the matchups, the mismatches, and take advantage of them.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. You got to find those opportunities to do that. The one thing we know, this Florida secondary has been exploited this year. There have been opportunities to do that, and that's clearly something that Georgia needs to do on Saturday. Texas Dog, tell folks a little bit about yourself and, just kind of how long you've been cheering for the Dogs and kind of what else you think about the game on Saturday.
Well, I'm a huge Bulldog fan, stranded in Dallas, Texas. Been a fan since I was a kid in 1977. Have a lot of memorabilia from the 80s, have an autographed Herschel Walker jersey that I don't have out here with me now. The setup I have on my table, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a lot of.
There you go. I like to see that.
Ceramic Bulldogs, and I got a 1980s championship Coke bottles and a Battling Bulldog brew beer can and a Battle Head and a Bulldog blanket. I got all kind of good stuff out here. I don't have it all out here, but huge fan. I listen to your show every morning. I participate in the chat from time to time, but I usually don't say nothing unless I want to make a point that makes sense.
Well, listen, I think that sounds like you're making a lot of good sense right now. And I know a lot of Georgia fans are just as excited as you are to see this big game coming up on Saturday. Over here on the YouTube side of things, just for a second, Michael Porter checking in. Michael, it's certainly great to be able to see you. Appreciate you being a part of what we're doing here this evening. Also, there's a topic in the YouTube comment section about stopping that Florida Gators offense. And for those of you who are in our broadcast and part of our Classic City Lager Cocktail Cam, tell me your thoughts on this. How concerned are you about the need to step up and really stop that Florida offense on Saturday? Does anybody have a comment on that they want to share here this evening?
He'll have hard time throwing when he's on his back.
I like the idea of that.
Agreed.
I like the idea of that for sure. Definitely like the idea of that. Getting after Kyle Trask, putting him on his back, that certainly sounds like a good thing to be able to do on Saturday. Really excited about that all the way around. Let's get a few more comments here on Facebook here this evening and on YouTube. Obviously, people continue to be concerned about the George Pickens situation. That's an injury that he's dealt with, and Jordan, that's been kind of lingering for him. That's obviously something to be very mindful and aware of as you head towards Saturday. No question about that. Let's go and get a few more comments over here on Facebook here for a little bit too, as we continue on our world's largest virtual cocktail party tonight here, courtesy of our friends at Kroger. We certainly appreciate that. Sanchez, Burns, Turner, and this is the main reason why we're doing something like this evening. Sanchez says, normally I'd be eating at Joe's and I'd be heading back to my room to get dressed for the landing. Yeah, so for a lot of folks who are not doing as much of that this year, this is why we're having the virtual cocktail party, giving you a chance to celebrate and be a part of all that. And we certainly appreciate certainly appreciate all of you being here with us this evening. Don't forget, we're giving away a lot of these Kroger masks here tonight. So for those who are in the broadcast, you've been able to get one of those. Let me turn around so folks can see it. I like that cocktail there. That's looking really good. We're giving away some of these here this evening. Michael, why don't we check in and show the entirety of our Classic City Lager cocktail cam, see all those cocktails that are being consumed here tonight. For the folks who can't be on the landing or can't be eating over at St. Simon's, one of those great restaurants, give folks a chance to check in and do a lot of that here this evening. Steve Highland, to sort of echo something that's been said before, Steve wants to see those tight ends more involved. He's calling for more of, as he calls him, Big O, Darnell Washington, looking for a lot of that here this evening. Somebody else from inside the broadcast, want to unmute yourself, a comment on anything that you want to provide for us here this evening? Go ahead and share anything that you want.
Yeah, I think that they're going to give Stetson an opportunity tomorrow has some short throws early, get his confidence built, and plus the running game. I think Stetson rebounds and does, he's one of the players' favorites and everything. I think he's going to show why tomorrow. I think it's a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. I think you have a chance to really get Stetson Bennett involved. As you said, give him some short throws, give him some safe throws. By now, everybody knows what Stetson does well, what he doesn't do well, what he struggled with. And yet there have been some moments this year when Stetson really stepped up and performed well for Georgia. Tomorrow can be one of those days, as long as Todd Monken builds an effective game plan around him. I think that's a good point. Chase Barbie, watching on Facebook, says, what would be a comfortable halftime lead? It's important to note that that Georgia has had, comfortable leads last year during the game, has really limited the Florida offense. A lot of drives for Florida. Not many of them have yielded points. The Georgia defense is showing up big, and that's another thing that helps Stetson on Saturday. Mark Goodman, tell folks a little bit more about yourself and kind of how long you've been following the Dogs and kind of what your feelings are on the game on Saturday beyond all of that.
No, I don't want to tell my age. I've been following Dogs for many, many years. I love the game being in Jacksonville. I'm from Valdosta, South Georgia. It's a quick trip. Love the tailgating. I hate we're not tailgating this year. Usually we go up a couple of days early. I'm headed up in the morning or headed down in the morning. And try to be there and leave here by 8 o'clock. I only think they're going to let you in the stadium before 12:30. So.
Well, listen, I'm glad to know you're
sports bar near 5 that I can get into about 11 o'clock.
I like the idea of that. Get settled in, watch some football. That's certainly a fun thing to be able to do, and certainly appreciate all of you being here and being a part of that. Over here on the YouTube side of things here for a moment, Tuck checking in to say, go Dogs, baby. Tuck, appreciate that. Thanks for being here. J.R. Hyatt also talking about the need to stop Kyle Pitts. That's obviously a huge challenge for Georgia on Saturday. Someone else who's watching in our broadcast right now, give me your thoughts on what Georgia needs to do to match up with that great Florida tight end. Anybody want to unmute themselves and share your thoughts with us on that here a little bit? We'll take some more of your comments here coming up in just a little bit. Shelton Tucker says, by the way, he's been following the Dogs since 1976. So clearly he's seen a lot of Georgia wins in this series. Boy, tight end's been a popular topic all night long, including our Facebook comment section a moment ago. Mike Gay also saying that if it's rainy and windy on Saturday, maybe another opportunity to get Zamir White involved. That's certainly a fun thing to think about. Georgia would obviously love nothing more than to be able to do that. That'd be a great thing to be able to see. Don't forget, on Dog Nation tomorrow, we got a lot of coverage all day long. Kroger kickoff before the game. We'll give you some of the sights and sounds from inside Jacksonville around the stadium. We'll look forward to doing that. I'll have Terrence Edwards, the former Georgia Bulldog, great wide receiver, with us as part of our Dog Nation postgame show immediately after the game. Really looking forward to being able to provide that for you. And, of course, in the forum throughout the day at forum.dognation.com. And, really just across the entirety of the Dog Nation platforms, giving you Georgia-Florida coverage tomorrow. I am really looking forward to all of that. All right, let me get a couple more comments. We'll get ready to wrap up and let y'all get going on your Friday night here. Thomas Clark mentioned the idea of Tyson Campbell, and I do think that Campbell plays a pivotal role for Georgia tomorrow. He's a bigger cornerback. He runs obviously great, but he's got the size that makes you think that in a different situation, he could have been a safety anyway. The versatility of the Georgia defensive backs, I think, is really challenged tomorrow because of the absence of Richard LeCounte. Having guys like Campbell who can do things a multitude of ways, I think that's really going to matter. Jan Armistead also mentioned the need to cover Kadarius Toney. That's another thing guys like Stokes and Campbell and DJ Daniel, assuming he's healthy enough, they provide you help with, because they are able to run step for step with Toney and keep up with his quickness, something a lot of defensive backs in this league are not necessarily able to do. Over here on YouTube for another moment, to let folks say hello over here, Jay Dog checking in. Jay, we certainly appreciate that. A lot of Georgia fans having a good time and getting ready for a great night here this evening, heading towards the cocktail party on Saturday, whether you're going to be watching a sports bar or whatever else you got going on, lucky enough to be inside the stadium or just getting together with friends in a socially distant way. Everybody having a good time on that. Before we wrap up, one more time, let's go ahead and show you our Classic City Lager cocktail cam. Give the folks a chance to show their cocktails, show off their Georgia gear, and just let folks know we're getting ready for a big game coming up on Saturday and having a great taste of the cocktail party in a virtual sense this year. You can't be outdoors, or at least not the way that you would be in a normal tailgating sense, but you can be here having a really, really good time. So it's fun to be able to provide that courtesy of our friends at Classic City Lager. Before we get ready to wrap up, anybody from within inside of our comment section here, that's watching us, a part of our video. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Final thoughts on the night before we get ready to move on here. Anybody got anything they want to share?
Hey, BA, I got a question.
Please go ahead, Sean.
What do you think the chances are that Richard LeCount comes back next year if this injury that he sustained, takes up the rest of the games that he has left? Do you think he'll come back with this free year that he has?
I think that's a great question because he's a little bit of a swing draft pick as it is. In some cases, you see him mentioned in like a first, second round type mock draft. In other cases, it's more of like a third or fourth year situation, or I should say third or fourth round situation. My guess is he still probably leaves, tries to go to the NFL, because for a lot of those mid-round picks, if that's indeed what LeCount ends up becoming, they love the idea of getting their clock started, as you say, to prepare them for a second contract, which is where really, unless you're a first-round pick, big signing bonus, it's that second NFL contract where you make the majority of your money, the money that you could support your family with the rest of your life. And so LeCount might, like a lot of guys choose to do, get the clock started to move towards that opportunity at that second contract. So I think that's a great question. It's obviously something that we'll be watching closely, and clearly something in which that his absence is going to be really felt when it comes to the game on Saturday. I appreciate you weighing in on that. All right, before I say goodbye, let me remind you of this. If you go to dognationhelp@gmail.com, give us your contact information, get a chance to win yourself one of these Dog Nation Kroger masks. We're going to be giving a few of these away. For the folks who've been here tonight, a part of our Classic City Lager cocktail cam, certainly appreciate that. For those of you on Facebook and YouTube, we'll see you for a lot of Dog Nation video coverage tomorrow. Thank you so much for being a part of this here this evening. Hope you all have a great night and enjoy the game tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for being a part of our Dog Nation's world's largest virtual cocktail party. Certainly appreciate that, everybody.
Thank you, Brandon.
Go Dogs.
Thanks, BA. Go Dogs.
Hey, before you guys